So start off telling the people your name. Yeah, give them your name. What's your name?
So should I go with the name I go by or should
Both.
I? Okay. So a lot of people don't know, but my real name is Almisha. I go by Mimi the doll. I'm very well known by Mimi. And Mimi comes from a childhood name that was given to me, and I have always took it far. And of course, what's better to go with Mimi, the doll.
What's your age?
My age is 27.
All right.
27.
Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Florence, well, Jackson, but I was raised in Florence. I was conceived in Florence.
Florence, Mississippi. So would you consider yourself a country girl?
Absolutely.
And what did you do in the country? First of all, when did you come to Jackson? To the so-called city around here. When did you come to the city?
So my mom actually stayed in Jackson. We moved a little bit in Jackson and in Clinton, but my dad family, my grandmother, my pawpaw, we have land in Florence. So my whole childhood upbringing up until the age of, I would say 16, I was part-time raised in the country, but from 16 on up to I was 21, I stayed in the country full-time with my grandparents.
Okay. All right. Y'all have to excuse the little noise in the background. We got a man cleaning up. I know it can't be heard too much. You know, we are mic'd. It can't be heard too much, but for the ones that can hear it, hopefully he moves on. As a matter of fact, he's about to come through here, so we're going. Well, no, that's his partner. But hopefully he moves on. All right, so Florence, Mississippi. Partial of your family was in Jackson. Okay.
I stayed in Jackson, but I was raised in Florence.
Okay. All right, so we're getting down to the personal and identity section.
Okay.
And these are going to be some questions, various questions. We're going to walk down through this. I want you to be as comfortable as possible. How do you identify as far as your sexual orientation?
Bisexual.
Bisexual. And what made you make that choice?
When I was younger, of course, I've always had a fetish over girls, but I lost my virginity to a guy. I was madly crazy over him. And what's crazy is I lost my virginity to a guy, but I was actually dating a girl at the same time. I had a girlfriend.
Okay,
but me and the girl wasn't doing anything but kissing. So, you know, I broke ice with the guy first. And once I broke ice with him, eventually I realized that was not really what I wanted, and I broke ice with her. And that's when I realized that it really depends on the person on where I'm going to go.
What, like, in the beginning, what made you uncomfortable with the guy?
So I was sexually assaulted when I was younger, at the age of 7 and after I lost my virginity. But luckily I had the guy that I was dating. I actually lost my virginity at 13. It was very young, on my 13th birthday. I can admit that. Some people don't. Some people are like, oh, you no, I wasn't. I was dating this same boy from the age of 10 to 13. And once I lost my virginity to him, I got a girlfriend, and I was dating her up until the age of 15. So I was very uncomfortable with guys because I was sexually assaulted from the age of 7 to 9. And when I was sexually assaulted from the age of 7 to 9, I only wanted to entrust, like I was friends with a lot of guys, but I didn't trust them. I only felt comfortable with this one boy. He lost his virginity to me, I lost my virginity to him. When I was 14, I was sexually, they tried to rape me. When I was 14, he actually ran track with me.
Now, when you say they?
Well, not they, him. He tried to rape me. We ran track together. I trusted him. I led him to my home. He followed me into my room. If I wasn't as athletically strong, he probably would have took my goods. But because I was so athletically strong, I didn't allow him to take what I had.
How does that affect you to this day?
To this day, I just don't trust, guys. But I also realized that, he kept apologizing, so I realized that some people are weak. Some people are very weak-minded, and some people want things that they can't have. And sometimes when you want things that you can't have, you would go through extreme measures to try to get it. And I just learned to learn people, learn the steps, the stages, the signs, the signals. And once I get this type of energy vortex force of me feeling like, oh, he on that other type of shit, I'm on to the next. You know.
Wow. This happens a lot in our community. And it's more talked about now than, when I came up. I can't imagine what that might feel like. Um, have you went through counseling?
Yes, absolutely. After that happened, my mom ended up finding out I lost my virginity. We moved to Louisiana. I didn't want to talk to no guys after that, and then that's when I started to talk to a girl. But I did, go through counseling. I didn't end up reaching counseling until I was 18.
Okay. So do you feel that inside you have a hate for men or males?
I used to. I used to.
You think you're over that?
Absolutely. I mean, it happened. I can't change it. I just thank God that he gave me the strength and courage to fight back and fight it off. When I was younger, I was young. I couldn't do nothing about that. I was little. I was afraid. So, I mean, it happened. I don't hate men. I don't even hate the guy to this day. If anything, I look down. I feel sorry for him. To this day, he's always going to apologize, always going to give me the utmost respect because it could have been bad.
Absolutely.
It could have been bad because when he did what he did, what's crazy is the guy, my boyfriend at the time, pulled up in my house and he was outside. So when I came out looking the way I did, he was on that type of time. So because I didn't say anything, I spared his life.
What made you not say anything?
I just knew the destruction it would have caused. And I don't know, I've always been, as a younger me, I always learned to keep things in. And I just didn't want, I eventually told my boyfriend, and he was mad that I didn't tell him then, but I just didn't want it to get to where that he could possibly have to go to jail or something. He had to go to juvenile or something. Because he wasn't even supposed to be over there. And he drove all goddamn Lake Dockery to Spring Lake. If you were from Byron, you know from Lake Dockery to Spring Lake on a bike. So he wasn't even supposed to be over there, so I wasn't even finna risk that for him. But I did tell him once they left.
Man, that's something. All right, so later on, well, you did say that you had a fetish for females.
Oh, absolutely. I love a woman's body.
Now, did you have that growing up?
Growing up, I always liked the kiss. I liked the playhouse, and I wanted to be daddy.
You want to be what?
I wanted to be the dad. They could be the mama.
So, do you feel that your nature is dominant?
At times, but I could be submissive.
Okay, all right, man. So, that have you talked to other females about that, or what they can do to prevent that?
Prevent what?
Sexual assault, being in those particular situations where that can happen?
I mean, that's why I went through counseling for. I don't really get into the nitty-gritty with that in my relationships. Now, if we talk about it, we're going to talk about it. But, when I was in counseling, things I could do to prevent it is to not put myself in certain situations. If it's me and one person that I don't know like that, don't put myself behind closed doors with somebody I don't know.
Right.
Don't walk into a room where you don't know what to expect, especially by yourself. If you're gonna go anywhere, always make sure someone is with you. If you don't have no one with you, always have some type of protection. Gun, taser, knife, whatever.
So is that your advice to other young ladies?
Read the room, absolutely. Read the room, know the person. If you get that feeling in the bottom of your stomach, which I had that feeling when that boy walked behind me in my room, but it happened so fast, so you get that feeling. If your conscience have any type of negative self-doubt, that's the universe telling you, like, this is not what you need to do. Listen to your inner voice, listen to your thought, do whatever you can to protect yourself, and never go in situations alone.
Y'all heard that. Or at least I hope y'all heard that. We got a lot of noise out here
We
today.
do, we
This
do.
is hey, it's unusual, but it happens. All right, so
Landscaping.
yeah. They got it going on out here. They're doing some things. Okay, so this next question can be in the same range, but it's a little bit different. What are some of the biggest challenges you've experienced navigating your identity? And as a matter of fact, I'm going to switch that over to the female side. So, being with females, what are some of the biggest challenges you have experienced identifying, being identified as bisexual and dealing with a female?
The biggest challenge being with the female, being bisexual, is depending on the person that you encounter with. Because some females are understanding and they know that you are who you are, and before them is before them. And some females have a trauma due to dating certain females and those females stepping out on them with males. So it really depends on the person that you're dating and having that open communication with them before it goes anywhere. Like, look, this is who I am. This is what I do. If we ever break up, I'm not gonna tell you I'm not gonna talk to a guy. I may talk to a guy, I may talk to a woman, but this is how we gonna be. But I chose you in this moment. So that should only matter that I chose you, and just keep choosing that person. And the first time you feel like you want something different, want something else, be open and honest with them and just tell them the truth. So honesty, the biggest challenge would be, in some sense, honesty and open communication, in relationships. But that's with women and men.
That's what I was about to ask. So what it like for now? You said bisexual, but there are some females and some males that choose the same gender. And if you're going to go through the same challenges that you do being with an opposite gender, then what is the benefit of dealing with the same gender? Like for instance, I have talked to some females that are only identified with females.
Yep,
And they say, well, I was hurt by a man, and I just don't deal with men because men are dishonest. And
But if you talk to one, shit, you still bisexual. Regardless of what you had, some people gonna be like, I only did something with a man one time, that's gonna consider me bisexual. Yes, it does. It does. It opened up your portal to a whole nother vortex. So it does consider you bisexual. Now, because you got hurt, you putting that pain on your sexuality, you're gonna be confused in the end. Because I did that when I was a teenager. I got hurt by a female, I wanted to go to a male. Went to the male, got hurt by a motherfucking nigga. Damn, it ain't no different. So it's all about the person. And if you can't distinguish, knowing that you're gonna get hurt, whether it's a man or a woman, you need to figure out your own shit mentally and internally. You're gonna do some soul searching.
Okay, and what do you mean by that when you say you need to figure out your own stuff?
You need to figure out the difference between, it doesn't matter what gender you're dating, it matters on the person that you choose. So anybody can hurt you.
Right. So and along with that, does it make a difference if you're more complete with yourself, or would you reflect that on the other person, or both?
It makes a difference when you're complete and honest with yourself, because it reflects a barrier of communication with the other person.
Wow, that's deep.
Like, it really, 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 really is a main thing. It's really something serious that you are completely open with yourself. And I'm only saying it because I'm going through that phase of my life now, being complete and honest and open with myself. Sometimes when you get hurt by people, you really don't know how to love, and you really don't know how to commit, and you really don't know what it feels like to be truly loved, because all you have been done is endured hurt during the trials of your love. Love is not pain. You have sorrow, but you don't have pain during love. So with that being said, you have to distinguish the differences versus your emotions in realistic humanity life. Like, people are human. It's all about who you shoes and how open and complete and honest you are with yourself and the other person and how they are with you.
Okay, you deep.
So,
All right. How do you define black womanhood and what does it mean to you?
I can't even hear you because the wind.
Okay. All right. So we gonna let this wind come down a little. That's okay.
Okay,
All right.
what'd you say?
How do you define black womanhood and what does it mean to you?
Resilience,
And
strength,
okay.
independency, nurturing, compassionacy. To be honest, I wouldn't even say black womanhood. Womanhood in generality, it's rebirth, reproduction. It's the foundation of growth, love. It's the embodiment of a tree. Like you have the roots that grow, like we sprout. But every woman don't see that within themselves because of the things that we have been through in life and our peers that we have been growing up around.
And when you say strength, what 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 is strength in a
Strength.
woman?
Strength in a woman is no matter what life throws at you, you're still gonna get your ass back up, dust it off, and keep it moving. Learn the lesson, follow the steps, and make it better. That's strength. So I mean, no matter how many rocks thrown at you, you still moving.
Let me ask you this, and this is a personal. I'm curious of this as a person. A lot of, in my opinion, a lot of women take strength. They take that word strength and use it. I want to put this right. I want to make for sure I'm very, very, very clear. As in, I don't need nothing. I don't need nobody. I can do everything on my own.
No, that's not strength. I mean, that's a part of it, but that's overwhelming.
What do you mean by overwhelming?
As in, yes, we don't need nobody. We come in this world alone, we die alone. But God send us helping hands through along the lines. If you're constantly declining the hand, you could be declining something that God has sent you to lighten your load. But because you think that you can do everything by yourself, you're gonna always be overworked, stressed out, overtired, like all over the place, drained, irritable. I'm just being honest.
Hey.
You gotta look. If they helping you, accept the help. You know when it's generous help, and you know when it's conniving help. You gonna know. If you don't know, you will learn real quick by receiving it,
You got an
accepting
old soul.
it. I've been told I do.
Who, like, we covered a little bit of this, but your grandma, your grandpa. I'm assuming they were around. Older people in the community. Did you talk with them?
All the time. I moved out my mom's house at 16. From 16 up until 19, I stayed with my grandparents. But I always went to my grandma's house every weekend when I was staying with my mom. It was some things that I don't want to really discuss that happened in my childhood life that got me to move in with my grandparents. But when I moved to my grandparents, that was during the time to where you really start identifying yourself from 16 to 20. That's like your teenage. That's really where you really start hitting that growth.
Right.
And so being around them, learning different things from them, and them teaching me things, and I'm teaching them things, it taught me a lot of things as a person. Even my mom, being around my mom, Lord rest my granddad's soul, my mom's dad, he taught me things. My mom's mom, Lord rest her soul, she taught me things. I just love older people.
Okay.
Now some of them a little uptight, but that's just because that's them. They stuck
What
in
you
their
mean
way.
by that?
Some of them a little uptight, some of them a little grouch, but that's them stuck in their own way.
What do you think that comes from?
Life,
Yeah.
typically life.
I can
and
attest
I don't
to
know
that.
what they done been through.
Yeah.
But once they in that way, you just still show them kindness.
Okay. All right. Do you think black women are adequately represented in America?
Black women are adequately represented.
in a whole first, because that's a two-part question. And I wrote this question down, but I do want to know in sections, like adequately represented in a whole, meaning in business and then also cultural. So in business, do you think black women are adequately represented?
Yes and no.
Explain.
Explain. Okay, so yes, because we have a lot of different organizations that are brought up for black business owners, black women, black excellence, just being African American in generality. But if you go to a certain dynamic scenario, I get hired at this law firm. I'm the only black woman at this law firm. I work with nothing but males and a couple of females. Typically, they're gonna look down on me because I'm a black woman working in an all-black male. For one, they're gonna look down and they're gonna be offended because they're gonna be like, okay, who is she? Why is she different? Do she look different? Why is she in our place? We ain't never had nobody like her. What does she have different? What makes her be qualified for this position? And that happens in this life. So in that moment, I feel like black women are not upscalely highly represented, and I wouldn't even say by just the other gender. Sometimes our same gender does not put us to where we need to put us because of, it could be ego, it could be pride, it could be, oh, I think I'm better than you, I'm smarter than you, I think I could do more than you, you're just a woman, you can't do this, I have to do this. It just really depends on where you are in that dynamic, because I done seen it both.
So you really kind of answered both of them within that one. What do you think you've been misrepresented the most by your own or by the other culture or other cultures?
Other cultures. What do I think I've been misrepresented?
No, what I'm saying is, do you think black women have misrepresented you or women in general more, or other cultures such as Hispanic, white, Latino, Asian?
It depends really on the people, because I'd have been in a whole Hispanic family. I dated a Mexican, and they loved me, which it was weird to some of them. It was extremely weird to some of them to see a morenita, a dark-skinned woman in the family.
What you call?
Morenita, that's what they call dark-skinned women. It was weird seeing a morenita, as they say, in a fully Hispanic dynamic culture. I've never talked to a white, a Caucasian, I'm not gonna say white, never talked to a Caucasian person, but I have Caucasian friends and I love them dearly. And some of their friends are not as easygoing to the different color, if that makes sense. And some of them love the fact that I am me. They don't even look at my color. They just see me. And that's the same with, Iranian Arabs, Vietnamese, Chinese. It all depends on the person and the people and how they was raised.
Have you ever, well, you said you never dated?
No, not a Hispanic.
Now, Caucasian.
Yeah, I have a Hispanic, not a Caucasian. Now they've been mixed with Caucasian, Puerto Rico, and black. But I never dated a full Caucasian. But I have been around my Caucasian friends and their family. But she's very selective on who she bring me around because she wants to make sure I get along with her certain friend group, if that makes sense. But that just shows you that it depends on the people. But her immediate friends love me, I love them. But you could tell, you can really tell. Mm-hmm. Like, you could tell, I ain't even gonna cut it. Like,
have you ever been intimate with a Caucasian male or, or female?
Male, yep. Female, yep.
What was the experience
Kiss,
like?
that's it.
Oh, that's it. Okay. All right. Why you straighten that out real quick?
Cause that was it. That was it. That was it. It was a kiss.
What made you? Was it just something that happened, or were
I
you
went
curious?
I went to Clinton Elementary. I had my first kiss by a white boy.
Very first kiss.
By a white boy.
Did he initiate it or you?
He did. He was crazy over my little chocolate ass. He was crazy over my chocolate ass. And when I moved, he was devastated. I don't even, if I see him, I don't even know if I would recognize him. If I see him, I probably feel the energy or whatever, but I don't even remember his name. I remember how he looked. He had long hair, but I mean, that's elementary. He done grown, but he'll recognize me because I still look the same.
You just said something that caught my ear.
Yeah.
You're very interesting. But you just said something that caught my ear.
What I say?
You said you probably feel the energy.
Yeah, I probably feel the energy. It's energy with everybody you come in contact with that you done share some type of kinetic energy with. It's energy with everything. Like you
talk to the people.
It's energy with everything. Like you can walk in the room and not even see them, but you gonna feel them. You gonna feel them there.
Wait a minute, say that one more time.
You can walk in the room, not even see them, but you gonna feel them. You gonna feel them there, and as soon as you turn around, boom, they're there.
When did you learn that?
I learned that through life. I just started to learn that energy is very deep in my 20s.
Let me see your eyes. Take I want you to. You just learned that.
I just learned it in my 20s.
Mimi.
I was in denial about it coming up.
Who taught you that? Had you ever heard that before you learned that? Before you came into the light?
To be honest, I was a bookworm. I read a lot. I researched a lot.
Do you still read?
Yes, I still read. I still research. And then I came into contact with different people that are very spiritually in tune and spiritually guided. So when you're a spiritual vessel, you attract spiritual people. And so the more times I prayed to God to show me my true purpose, and the more I actually tried to step into my solitude, and you get knocked off at times because I got knocked off. I'm trying to get back in it. But the more I stepped into my solitude and the more that I was being introduced to that part of the world, I started to realize that is a real thing. And then I started realizing the people I was encountering. Like I encountered a couple of people, it's not many, it's very rare you encounter people that you're gonna feel that energy spark with. But when I encountered that energy spark, I'm thinking that, truthfully, I'm thinking it's lust. I'm thinking like I'm just, want to do some things. But once I constantly kept being around that person, I realized that no, it's a real energy vortex. Like that person energy is calling for mine and mine is calling for theirs. So you match. And some energy are not always meant to be kept. But once you meet an energy, it's always a reason why you encountered it. And
so at some point, you can put your glasses back on. I just want to, connect with you for a minute. Because, I have tried to explain that to so many people.
They not gonna understand until they feel it. It's a feel. It's something from like within. Some you can't explain. Some you can't describe. Like you can describe it, but you really can't because it's a feeling that only you and that other person can.
I think some people know it and they just deny it.
That too, because I was in denial. I used to think that that's love, that's lust or something. And sometimes just the energy vortex that gravitates you to that person.
So that brings about another question. If I cared or shared some times with a female, we were intimate in my late teens or early 20s. We connected, we matched to a certain degree. Something happened, we split apart. I'm married now and that person comes back around. What do you think would happen?
That depends on you.
Explain.
It depends on you because you can act on the energy, you can act on the feeling, you can act on the impulse thoughts, or you can remain where you are because you're already in this commitmentship, you know. And sometimes people can come back around not to be with you, but to be there for you. I had to learn that too. Everybody that come back around not always meant to be back where they used to be.
You went directly to it. You
Yeah,
said because I'm the one that's in a committed relationship.
Right. Like sometimes it's the reason why you left them where you left them. And if it's meant, things gonna happen. It's gonna fall into place.
Right. We got to do a part 2. We have to do a part 2.
I'm down.
Have you ever felt overlooked because of who you are, your gender or your race? Do you still feel that way?
No, because I make sure I'm seen.
Okay, and how do you do that?
I be my true authentic self no matter the circumstances.
Enough said.
Because sometimes you can make yourself smaller because of how the other person making you feel.
Explain that.
As in, they feel like you're not good enough, so you show them you're not good enough, and you don't want to do anything or be your best self because they're constantly telling you that you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. Now you don't want to do it. You just validated everything that they just said. Versus they saying you're not good enough, you can't do this, you can't do that, and you still exceeding. You still striding. You still doing your job. You still showing up. You still doing your shit. You still getting validation, and it ain't even got to come from them. But first, you got to validate yourself.
Girl, you something else. All right, relationships and community. What are some of the most important, or a couple of the most important lessons you've learned from relationships? Personal relationships, business relationships, or casual relationships? What are the most important relationship lessons that you've learned thus far in your life?
Transparency and communication to understand.
You're very big on communication.
I'm very big because that's typically the #1 cause of problems.
So do you think that you communicate?
And understanding, because you can communicate your ass off, but the other person don't understand. We ain't doing shit.
So would you consider yourself as a person with a big mouth, or you communicate effectively?
Both.
Okay. All right.
Because it depends on the situation, you know what I'm saying? But I love to communicate effectively, but I'm going to communicate effectively with a big mouth. But sometimes when I feel like it's just not going to go nowhere, I'm just not even going to bother to keep even trying to communicate. I'm just going to move accordingly.
All right. What are your favorite ways to build and maintain strong friendships and relationships?
Bonding.
I mean, you really kind of already answered that with communication.
Yep.
And
bonding. Of course, communication, bonding, learning each other, listening to each other, doing random things that bring each other joy. Like, you don't have to be in a relationship to get your friend a rose or a card or a gift. It's a symbolic, meaning of it. Show them, like, this is what a true friend is supposed to be like, and I want a true friend, so I'm gonna show you that this is how a true friend is supposed to be. Even if that friend is not truthful to you, the universe is gonna send you back your truth because you was true to them. And in a relationship, this is how a true partner is supposed to be. Even though I'm not perfect, but this is exactly the things that you're supposed to be shared upon and with. So, bonding, communication, listening, having different adventures, activities, going on trips, going on regular social dates, walks.
You're an outdoors person?
I'm an air sign. I love pottery, painting, dance. I really love to dance. But I haven't danced since my knee got messed up.
Take time and promote your business.
Okay, so this is my gloss from Dolly Allure. Dolly Allure is partnered with Dolly Gloss. Dolly Gloss is from Dolly Me, which is me, Mimi the doll. I came up with Dolly Gloss because with the Dolly you must have gloss. I will be dropping my website soon. I do have products in stock, so I will have a quantity amount of how many to be sold. You can pre-sale. I have three flavors on my lip plumpers in Mood. If you don't want a Mood, I have a regular vanilla flavor, and it is long lasting, and it does keep your lips fully plump into the full maximum value. I'm looking forward to doing a lunch, so stay tuned to be invited to that lunch, and I hope to see y'all.
There it is. All right. Personal growth and mental health. How do you practice self-care and maintain your mental health?
I'm actually getting back into that now.
What do you mean back into it?
Because, I stopped for a minute. I got caught up in life, working, relationships, trying to, do everything that I need to do for myself, and I kind of steered away from my personal growth and mental health.
Let me jab at you for a minute. You're young. What possibly could you have known about mental health at an earlier age? Because you just said you're getting back into it.
Yeah, it affects your day-to-day well-being. It affects your thought process. It affects your creativity. It affects your ability to achieve the things that you need to achieve, because whenever you don't have a mental clarity, procrastination comes. And you already know when procrastination comes, you ain't gonna never get shit done.
Now, did you just learn that, or did you learn that earlier?
I learned it earlier, but I'm just now applying it.
How did you learn it earlier?
Because I was going through different things, and I wasn't doing what I needed to do because I was always tired, working long hours, overworking myself, saying I was gonna do something but didn't do it. So there was procrastination. I always thought about ideas but never put them into place.
That brings another situation up. I thought a light bulb just went off in my head. I saw you upset a couple of times. Very upset. Upset to the point where I had to walk off. I do know for a fact that a lot of people are, because I got daughters, and my daughter, well, one of my daughters, my youngest daughter, she knows that I know, but my older daughters don't know that they ain't nothing but big teddy bears. But they put on this persona.
Yep.
Like they so bad, so big and bad. What do you think that's necessary to put a armor on in order to not be seen as vulnerable or soft? Or what's your thought process on that?
When we do that, it's because we have been hurt in different ways to where we trying to protect ourselves. So we feel like if we guard up, there's nothing that you can do to affect us.
But then you end up getting hurt anyway.
Yeah, because then you're so guarded up to where you're not understanding the other person, and it's just trying to see that they're not trying to hurt you, they're actually helping you. And half of the time it's communication to understand. Like, look, listen, baby, I understand you feel this way, but just listen to what I'm saying. I feel like this would be better for you because this is what I think that you should do. This is what you've been talking about, not because I don't think that you're good at it. It's all about the wording too. And
say that again.
It's all about the wording.
From who?
The person that they're talking to. Like, okay, for instance, you and your daughter. So she's automatically gonna get, my dad. I'm automatically gonna get offended and defensive about anything he say against me because I'm feeling like he's trying to tell me what to do. Or he's trying to tell me how to do something and you're not understanding where I'm coming from. Versus my dad saying it in a different way. Because when I get a little uptight, he redirects his demeanor. And he be like, listen, baby, I know you know what to do. I know you want to do this. I'm just saying, do you think that's what you should do right now? Because eventually you're going to do it anyway because you're human. But how is it going to affect you? How is it going to grow you? Sometimes it's like different little small words that'll change a person their thought process.
I just learned that myself.
Because you daddy, you know what I'm saying? You daddy, so they gonna always feel like daddy on their ass. They just like my mama always feel like she on my ass, but I had to learn that she's not, she just firm.
Okay, so from your point of view, being the daughter, what do you expect from daddy? What do you expect? Do you expect daddy to just let you go,
No.
ram your head into it? Well, and I'm not looking for an excuse, but I'm trying to find out when we go into protective mode. Do you know what? Do you know what that's like, Mimi?
Yeah, that's like on some, like, don't, yeah, I might do anything to a motherfucker, yeah.
Okay, so if we know for a fact, okay, let me give an instance. One of my daughters, I hate the way she dresses. But I respect, you know, that's how she dresses. But I'm also looking at if we're out together and someone approaches us. See, we can't control what's going on in this world.
Wait, how old is she?
She's 26. If we're out and about and somebody approaches her wrong, that puts me in a
situation. Like, that's my daughter at the end of the day.
I'm finna, you know, I'm finna fuck somebody up. But on the same token, I'm saying I told her. You see what I'm saying? So it kind of puts us in a.
How does she react?
What do you mean?
Like when they approach her a certain type of way that's disrespectful to you.
Oh, this particular, she gonna snap off. She me.
Okay, so I've been in that situation. First and foremost, you have to be respectful of your father. At the end of the day, it is your father. Like, growing up, I used to feel like, because I'm grown, I can wear what the fuck I want to wear. But I had certain family members that used to look at me a little weird, and it made me feel uncomfortable. So I had to be taught that if it makes me feel uncomfortable, adjust the way you dress in certain settings. It's okay to be on your hot girl shit, because I be on mine. But if you're out with your family, dim it down a little bit. Still be on your hot girl shit, but don't have no cheeks out. Don't have too much sternum cleavage showing. And I mean, a back is okay, a little stomach is okay, but just be respectful that you do have someone you're representing at the end of the day. And I had to learn that, like, you're a representation of him. So you gotta break that down to her, be like, baby girl, I think you look amazing in what you wear. I may not agree with it, but I think it looks good on you because, I mean, you a nice you looking young woman.
Right.
But with me being your father, just have enough respect for me when we go out. Because I would hate to have to do a nigga in behind you. Do you want to come see your daddy behind bars? And she gonna be laughing about that shit, but you real serious.
Yeah.
So it's all about the way you deliver it to her.
So delivery means a lot with women.
Yes, it's the deliverance. And sometimes my deliverance can be off and I gotta repivot myself and be like, you know what, I should never say it like that. What I'm trying to say is da-da-da-da-da.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I used to give a fuck.
Me too. I didn't give a fuck how you took it. I'm gonna say what's on my dome and you gonna take it and that's it. And I don't give a fuck. But when it's done to you, you know, you finna take it there. And sometimes it didn't even need to be taken there based off a misunderstanding or a misinterpretation or a miswording.
Yeah.
A tone of voice.
I'm not a big person on words, so I haven't been and I attribute that to my father. My father would say, oh shit. When it came out his mouth, it came out his mouth. So I was brought up to where words just don't hurt me. You know what I'm saying?
But it do others though.
Yeah. And I knew that. Being young, I knew that.
But shit, you don't give a fuck when somebody hurt your feelings. I'm just being honest, because I didn't either. But sometimes hurt people, and it's not always good to just hurt them back, because when it's your time around, it can be worse than what you did to that person.
No, see, all right.
But when it's needed, get their ass. but you will know when it's needed. And when you get there, it be like, look, I didn't even want to do you like that.
But
you should never came at me like that because I kept telling you to calm down.
but what about when you say but? When you say but, then you
But
just change the whole
I kept
thing.
telling you to calm down. Because then the first thing I'll say, well, you still did, because you kept pushing me.
All right. Okay. Do you find joy and happiness in your daily life?
Yes, I do. I'm starting to get back into more joy and happiness. At first, I feel like my life was just the same routine every day. But going through this spiritual awakening that I'm on, my journey of healing and releasing and rebirthing new beginnings, I'm finding different things to wake up to do every day.
Cool. You want to share some of those things, or is that something?
I can. So I've been doing some spiritual cleansings in the house. When I first get up, I do a spiritual bath when I go to bed. I've been working on my website. I also have been, going to the gym. I said that I was going to start going to like pottery classes. I was going to do paint classes, start back doing yoga. I actually got a meditation and yoga therapy class tomorrow. It's a session. And
public? It's public?
No, it's not public. Well, it is public. So let me get the flyer out, because if y'all want to come, it's $20. Cash App is tomorrow at 6:30 by Fumi Queen, Kamikaze wife.
Yeah.
So that's actually my spiritual advisor, my guider, my healer. So we've been working one-on-one very closely, and she has this meditation yoga thing tomorrow that I'm extremely excited about, because it's my first one to go to, and I've never been to no yoga healing meditation class. So this is a new leaf for me.
Okay.
And then this weekend, I just said I was going to up and go see my friend girl Rio. That's one of my, Caucasian friends. I love her to death. It's my baby girl. So I'm going to Florida to go drive to see her, stay with her for 2 days, and coming back home. Trying to do things that come to my mind that brings me joy.
Gotcha. All right. Let's see. How do you feel about your body image, and what are some of the things you do to improve? You kind of, sort of already answered that a little bit.
Yep, work out.
But, okay, work out.
Work out, eat right. Try to stay active. Because when my knee got messed up, all I could do was eat and be in the bed. So I had gained some pounds. It don't look bad. Everybody say it fits all the right places, but me going from a small to a medium and bottom, that's a major difference to me.
How fast was it?
It was like a month. I was out for like 2.5 months, 3.
Yeah, I saw it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I paid attention to it.
Anytime I wasn't at work, I was at home in the bed with my leg elevated, and all I could do was take all that medicine and eat. So now I'm in the process of trying to cleanse my body, cut back on drinking. Eventually, I'm gonna cut back on smoking, because I do smoke marijuana. I'm actually going to start doing like gummies, teas, like different things like that.
You're gonna go into business with that?
I will eventually. Once I, get the right, I wouldn't even say vendor, because I'm so knowledgeable. I can teach myself how to make my own stuff. But once I get somebody to supply me with the THC oil, yeah. Or I make my own.
I'm through with the questions.
But we can't talk about this.
Yeah, I just want to talk now. Oh, I do have a question for you. Mm-hmm. Personal question.
All right.
What you feel about Diddy?
Diddy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that shit happen every day with men with power. He just got caught.
Do you think he actually got caught, or do you think it was a setup?
Both.
Explain.
Diddy had a lot of friends. You can't trust everybody. You were doing things to a lot of people. You can't do everything to everybody. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like he got a little carried away. I don't condone in what he did. No, I don't think that that was okay. But motherfuckers knew what was gonna happen at a Diddy party, so what you go for?
Now,
And if you didn't know what was gonna happen at a Diddy party, I'm pretty sure you saw something before you walked into the room.
have you followed the trial?
No, I haven't been following it. I just be looking on TMZ.
So did you, for the last couple of days, you know, since the trial has been, well, actually since Cassie has been talking.
Now I feel like with the Cassie situation, I don't condone in violence. I don't condone in sexual exploiting. I don't condone in trafficking. And I feel for her. So I feel like with her, whatever's owed to her, he gonna have to pay up. And he gonna have to serve. If he did that, if he truly did those things, truly, like you and God knowing her.
Mm-hmm.
If before God, if you did those things, handle your debt.
Ain't no doubt. I'm talking about
handle your debt.
No doubt
and
whatsoever.
Learn from the shit. And you better give her everything she ever asked for, because she's a beautiful spirit. She's still a beautiful spirit. But that's what I talked about, strength. That's strength. To overcome some shit like that and still be able to move on, to love, to have a family.
Let me ask you this. So the first day on trial, she said, this is what was said in the court. She explained to the court that, and I'm paraphrasing, that she was urinated on by male escorts.
So he was tricking her, exploiting her.
Well, this is what was said. She said that she was urinated on by male escorts upon Diddy's request. But the next day, one of the male escorts showed up in court. And he said that Cassie called him herself, paid him herself, and requested that he urinate on her.
If she did do that, I'm pretty sure she had a gun or something on her head telling her to do it.
Think so.
I mean, and if that's the case, I would have said I was forced to call to get these things done, because if I didn't, I was going to lose my life that night. And she could have been intoxicated, drugged, induced, anything could have happened. Mm-hmm. But you know, men with shit like that, you will escort, they don't want nobody in their business anyway. So the person that brought them in, they're going to try to cover up that person before the person that they did it to. Point blank, period.
And then another thing that was said too was she said this out of her own mouth. And I think this was on the second or the third day of trial. She said that the reason she did it was because she wanted to make Diddy happy.
Then I just say that. He probably mentally fucks with her. You want to make me happy, you love me, don't it? Yeah, I love you. You love me, you gonna do this for me.
Who do you think that's on though? Diddy or Cassie?
Diddy.
So you think that a male should not put a female in that position?
Never. Yeah. You never should put a female in that position. That's where I went for. That's a mental abuse. Yeah. Like, that's when I say it's all about the way you brought up. Like, she probably was brought up in a small town. She probably never really had nothing coming up. The first little me and you little hit probably was her first hit. She ran into him. He probably showed her all different types of shit, different things of the world that she never thought that she'd be able to see, adventure, do. Exploited her to all types of fucking drugs. That fucks with your mental too. So that's on him. That's on him.
Yeah.
That's on him.
So you do hold men in a high regard.
Well, men and women, but typically it's gonna be the man that's going to have the initiation for the woman to do what they want to. Like, they prey on their weakness, and you got women out there that prey on other women weaknesses, but the men are more conniving and it's more easier with the men than it is with the women.
Okay. All right, next topic.
And it's men with power, typically. That's
Gotcha.
men with
Yeah,
power. I'm
yeah.
not gonna say all men, so don't quote that. I don't. But typically, it's the men with the power that think they can't never be told no. They get the fuck they want. Period.
Y'all heard that?
And that's him. He can't. You know.
That's on him
Yeah. So.
and us.
Mhm.
We gotta straighten up our shit. Tory Lanez.
With the Meg situation,
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I mean, I feel like Tory was fucking with Megan's best friend. Megan still went behind Meg, the best friend. Fucked Tory. They all got drunk on some drunk shit. When you got alcohol involvement, anything can fucking happen. Anger, energy transfer, negativity, like anything can happen. It didn't look like no bullet hole went through her foot. It looked like that bitch was grazed. So, but because they said they found the gun,
She handled that just straight to the point.
yeah, I mean, it was alcohol involved. You really don't know the truth, but God, you really don't know. I feel like Megan's an Aquarius. She was very hot. She's a hot girl. She represents for the hot girl city, you know, getting fucked up. What that first drink she used to drink on all the time? Douce.
Yeah.
Douce make you do whatever it say. Like, come on now. You out there.
Yeah, you heard
You
that,
feel what
didn't you?
I'm saying? Douce make you do whatever it say. All of them was there. Kylie, all of them was there. They just left Kylie party. They probably was on all types of alcohol.
Let me ask you this. Do you plan to get married one day? How long?
One time only. So whenever God says it's time.
It's time. It's time.
Yeah, it ain't right now though.
Male or female?
Whoever God sends, I know. But I do want a family, so I'm gonna have a family regardless of woman or man. When I was a teenager in relationships, I used to be like, I'm gonna be with you for the rest of my life. We're gonna get married, blase, blase. Up, nope, curveball. Not it. Not it. So
How fast? Do you give chances? Do you?
I be in long-term committed relationships. My relationship always lasts 2 to 3 years plus.
Honestly saying right now, where do you need the most support or help?
I would say mentally. Mentally, I would say the most support. Just support me in my mental ability, listening to me, and help me achieve my goals. And I wouldn't even say doing it for me, just help me, tell me where I need to go. You know, make sure I'm on my shit. Like sometimes I'm so busy on everybody else shit and make sure they getting their shit done. I need somebody to be like, what did you do today? Did you go get this shit done earlier? Did you go finalize that? Why are you playing? Why you ain't calling nobody to try to figure out how to do it?
Everybody don't receive that. Would you receive that well? Because it'll come off sometime as a nag.
Yeah, but I mean, when you ask for it, I just want to say thank you for having me, Asiatic. I think it was a blessing. This was very random. I'm excited to be able to be interviewed on the culture and dynamics of just the world and Jackson here itself. I just want to wish everybody happiness, love, and soon to be looking into Dolly Allure Drop and get your purchase of your Dolly Gloss, and I will be having my lunch soon, so stay tuned.